Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well, feeling well, and living your life as best as you can. Today, as all of you know, that we have presentation, and I am Hazan Sabeen from class speaking to one of the presenters. So, my presentation may make some of you frustrated, angry, or even a little bit emotional. It's like the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Something that looks extraordinary, something beautiful. But do you know? Sometimes something that appears like extraordinary or beautiful can actually be terrifying like a nightmare. Yes. Today I am talking about cases that shock the world. I will only talk about 3 criminals from 3 different centuries. The one who hid in the dark streets of London. The one charming killer who shocked the America. And the one who used money, fame, and global connections to protect himself. These stories are disturbing, but they also reveal something deeper about fame, money, justice, and the truth. Let us begin. Jack the Ripper, or we can also call him the Shadow in the Fog. In 1888, London was covered in a thick fog. Gas lamps flickered at the dark streets of the Whitechapel. People walked quickly on the road because fear was everywhere. What did he do? At that time, a serial killer murdered at least 5 women. The victims were poor ladies, that's why. These crimes happened at the time of the night when the road was empty, when there was no one. But the most terrifying part of his crime wasn't just the murders. It was the mystery. At that time, police didn't have technology like today. For example, DNA testing or fingerprints. They searched houses, questioned suspects, and increased the patrols. But the killer always disappeared into the night. And then, even something more chilling happened. Letters were sent to the police. They were signed by the name of Jack the Ripper. On that letter, the writer mocked the police and acted proud of what he had done. And his name was published on the newspaper, and then suddenly all of the London knew it. Imagine living in a country where a killer is free, a killer who writes letters, a killer who seems to enjoy the fear. His identity was never discovered. Was he seeking power, control, or attention? We may never know it. Secondly, Ted Bundy, or we can also call him the charming monster. In 1917s, America wasn't afraid of the shadow in the fog. They were afraid of a smile. He was handsome, he was intelligent, he studied law, he spoke politely. No one thought he looked dangerous. Behind that calm face, there was a man who murdered at least 13 women from several states. They are the women who he killed. How he killed the women? He didn't chase his victims. He acted injured. Sometimes he pretended that his arm is broken. Sometimes he asked help from the women to carry book to his car and then killed them. He used kindness as a weapon. This is what made him terrifying. He didn't look like a monster. He looked normal. He even escaped from the prison twice. And in the court, he spoke for himself during the trial, trying to control the situation until the very end. In 1989, he was executed. What made his case really frightening it was that the shadow in the fog was a mystery in the dark. But Ted Bundy, he proved something worse. Sometimes evil wear friendly face. The purpose and impact. The purpose of it was that the psychologist believed he was motivated by a strong desire for control and power. He enjoyed manipulating people and feeling superior. For him, it wasn't just violence; it was domination. The impact of it was that his case forced police department to cooperate with many like cities. At that time, there was not a national database like today. His case helped improve development, improve communication between the states. Thirdly and lastly, Jeffrey Epstein. Who was he? In this modern world, crime didn't hide in the fog. It didn't hide behind a charming smile. It hid behind money and influence. His name was Jeffrey Epstein, but he didn't start as a billionaire. He was first a maid teacher in a private school in New York. From a classroom to private jets. From teaching math to moving among the most powerful people. How? After leaving teaching, Epstein enters finance and built connections with wealthy individuals. One turning power was Les Wexner, the founder of L brands like Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works. Epstein became his financial manager and was given the attorney over Wexner finances. Extraordinary control. And then he gained something more than money, access. Access to elite circles, access to politicians, access to global influence. He built an image of a financial genius, luxury homes, private jets, and a private island. Little St. James, it is his private island's name. It's like paradise, palm trees, blue waters, and silence. But behind the paradise, the investigator accused him of trafficking and abusing underage girls. He used wealth and connections to manipulate his victims and protect him for years. What shocked the world was the question, how could power shield him from justice? In 2019, he was arrested, but before a full trial, he died in jail, creating a global controversy and more questions than answered. And Jack the Ripper hid in the fog. Ted Bundy hid behind a charming smile. Jeffrey Epstein hid behind money and influence. 3 centuries, 3 different masks, one common desire, control. Their case teaches that evil doesn't always look frightening. Sometimes it looks mysterious, sometimes it looks charming, and sometimes it looks powerful. And in the last, I want to say that the most dangerous question is not always how they committed their crimes, but it is that how our society allowed them to continue.
Yes, I call Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein, he was a maid teacher at a private school, and now he was a billionaire, because of he accused underage girls, abused them, and that's why he died. That's why the police arrested him.
Isn't him